If you've ever been in the middle of a conversation at work and had words come up with either an L, an R, or TH that made you completely lose confidence in how you were communicating and how you were being understood, then this video is for you, because today we are going to get to the bottom of what is so difficult about articulating these American consonants. So, what do they have in common? Well, the middle of the tongue stays directly in the middle of the mouth on all three of these consonants every time they come up in a word or phrase. Whereas a lot of non-native speakers will tend to move the middle of the tongue forward to bring the tip of the tongue forward on these consonants. Let me show you the difference. L, the, l. Did you see how in one case the middle of my tongue stayed kind of back and in the middle of my mouth, even when the tip of my tongue went up to touch the palate or touched my teeth? The middle of my tongue did not move forward to support the tip of my tongue doing this or this. Okay? The middle of my tongue did not push forward. It stayed in the middle of my mouth. This makes a huge difference on all three of these sounds, okay? Keeping the middle of the tongue central. Now we're going to get into some differences between these three sounds, and we're going to start with the R. So first of all, an American R is formed by arching the middle of the tongue up. And when we do that, the tip of the tongue is not supposed to get too close to the upper palate or touch the upper palate. The tip of the tongue should not be pointy. The tip of the tongue is wide and it's floating in the middle of the mouth, not touching the upper palate. But here's what we are also not doing on the R. Again, the tip of the tongue should be floating in the middle of the mouth, not getting too close to the palate, but also not getting too close to the bottom of the mouth on the R's. And as I mentioned before, the middle of the tongue is in the middle of the mouth, not forward, in the middle of the mouth. Now let's talk about the American L. With the American L, the middle of the tongue is still in the middle of the mouth. But this time, it's not arching, it's cupping. Keeping the middle of your tongue in the middle of your mouth, the tip will go straight up, to touch the palate behind your upper front teeth. Once again, the middle of the tongue cannot come forward when you do this. And just like with the R, the tip of the tongue has to still be wide and flat, not pointed. Now we do have two different L sounds in English. If you have an L before a vowel, like in olive, you do have to touch the upper palate with the tip of the tongue, but while keeping the middle of the tongue in the middle of the mouth, not pushing it forward like l. And you have to keep the middle of the tongue in a cupping shape. However, when L comes before another consonant or at the end of a phrase, you don't have to touch the palate for the L. You just need to keep the cupping shape. And keep the middle of your tongue generally locked in the middle of your mouth, not pulling forward excessively. For example, all. I maintain the cupping shape on the L. However, because it's at the end of the word, I don't have to even touch the palate with the tip of the tongue. So not all. Nope. Just have the cupping shape and keep the middle of your tongue in the middle of your mouth. All. all. Now let's get to the bottom of TH. So, like I mentioned before, also with TH, the middle of the tongue must stay in the middle of the mouth. It is not allowed to come forward for TH. Also, just like with L and R, the tip of the tongue has to stay wide and relaxed. It should not be pointy like this. The. You don't want the tip of your tongue to be pointy. You also want your tongue to be in a cupping shape for TH. Now, here are a couple of really interesting nuances about TH specifically. One of the most common mistakes I see being made, other than pushing the middle of the tongue forward too much and pointing the tip of the tongue, would be pushing the teeth with the tip of the tongue, pushing and releasing, almost aggressively attacking the teeth. Where instead, like I said before, the tip of the tongue must be wide and relaxed, and it should slide through the teeth or slide against the back of the front teeth. But without stopping the airflow. Okay, so if you're going pushing the teeth and coming away from them, pushing the teeth and coming away from them with a pointy tongue tip, you're going to find that it sounds kind of like a T or a D, not quite, but kind of, because Americans have the tip of the tongue wide and relaxed and also are not rushing the sound. This sound is supposed to last a little bit longer, okay? It's not push and come away. It's slide against gently with a relaxed muscle. The tip of your tongue must be wide and relaxed. And again, not stopping the airflow. So think of it more as sliding the tip of the tongue there, not pushing it with a tense, tight tip of the tongue. Hey, are you a non-native English speaking professional looking to learn an American accent? Feel free to check out the link in the description box or the comment section down below to find out more information about my American accent coaching programs, which are one-on-one, or to find out more about my self-paced muscle training course. That's it for today. Ciao!